Hello, hello, hello. One and all, welcome to the Sunday show, the Kench Niner broadcasting system, as we like to call it. It's not government funded either, anymore. Cheers, everybody, to celebrate Sunday. I hope you have filled your glass of Diet Coke to the brim. You've included ice to make that extra condensation happen. It came right out of the can just seconds ago, so it's still quite fizzy, but I have no idea what it's going to taste like. Still have no idea what it tastes like. Somebody tell me. I want to know. Is it fruity? Is it spicy? What does a cola nut taste like? Has a human being ever tasted a cola nut? Does a cola nut exist, or do they make it up for the advertising? I have so many questions. I mean, especially, it's Diet Coke. Does it really have any actual natural flavors in it? So many questions. Yet the Diet Coke Company of America will not respond to my treaties, which I do on this show, to send me a couple cases. I keep pushing their product to the new younger generations. I'm just riffing until kind of things start happening. What time is it? We're 3 minutes in. All right. So let's see. We have an introduction. Welcome to the show. Today's show will feature me flying around using the beautiful Bluetooth controller, drinking plenty of Diet Coke, by which I mean one can, okay? At some point, there might be Skibidi Toilet, but maybe not. And then also, it depends. And then there'll be the big brain games today. That's me playing those trivia games. Today's the hardest tightrope trivia game of the week, so I expect to fall flat on my face. But hey, it's all comparative. Who else is doing better than me? I don't know on the trivia quiz. But we'll do those Arcturals and the Wordles. It's gonna be exactly the same, except different. All right, then there'll be the break. I'll be doing that for like an hour. I shouldn't slam my leg into the table here. It's gonna shake the camera. Don't ever do that. Oh yeah, it says right in my title, Fancy Cheap Guitar. Here it is. Here's a preview. The musical segment, by which means I always announce the musical segment well in advance so that people can get very, very close to their mute buttons, just in case any of the sound leaks through to them. But hey, today, even if you don't want to look, you don't want to listen, then why would you? You can watch me play this really cool guitar. It's pretty. You saw a crane this evening taking away your copter because it... Really? I feel like I have a right to cause traffic jams wherever I feel like it in the world. Thank you for reporting that, though. I do have a fleet of over 120 airplanes, so it can be very hard to keep track of all of them. And I imagine a lot of them are getting into trouble in various places. Oh, you did? The plane. You just pasted and me flying the Piper Warrior in 2021. Are they safe? Are they safe for the show? Do I see that? Yeah, I don't know if you posted it in my Discord, but you might have posted it in a Discord. So, or maybe it hasn't come through yet, but I don't see anything in my Discord or direct messages from you. So, yeah, I haven't seen anything yet, but when they come in, maybe we'll take a peek. I'm looking forward to seeing that. But you inspired me. You were talking about helicopters, and so earlier I was like, I don't really have that many, but I do have one that's not a Bell. Those Bells don't work, and the Cabri doesn't work. But I do have one. I want to fly around in a bit. I'm probably not going to cold start it, but I did a little bit of flying in it, and it seemed to work okay. So since we haven't flown helicopters in forever, it's this Cowan Sim H125, which I think you had to pay extras. I don't think you did it right because I'm looking at my Discord over here and I don't see anything. My Discord is called Kench999's SOT stuff, SOT stuff. Yeah, I haven't floated that much, but I was flying a little bit. This one does seem to fly exactly kind of like I expected it to fly. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see where we can go. It has a picture of me at the top. Yeah, but I'm okay. Well, it has my social. It should have my social media. Are you sure it's Discord and not one of my other socials, like like Twitter or Twit or something like that? Because I have a bunch of socials and they all have my name on it. I gotta get rid of that. There's potentially it could be on my Twitter. Let me just see. notifications. Yeah, I don't see. It has a picture of me. See, my also my social media picture is two people, right? And I'm in a mask. It's another guy in a mask. Yeah, okay, that's mine. Yeah, that's definitely my Discord. I don't know why I'm not seeing it because I'm literally looking at my Discord page. I can show you here. Hold on a second here. Here's my Discord page here, right? It says Kench999 sought stuff. Okay. Well, I don't think it's something you did wrong. I just think it's you haven't done it before. Um, so you might have gotten to the correct server, but then like you have to do an additional step to actually post them from an app, to yeah. Or copy and paste might not work, but there should be a way of uploading pictures. Maybe it's upload and not copy and paste. Because yeah, oh there we go. Wait a minute, just now? No, this yeah. Okay, here we go. All right, it just came through. We can take a look. So here's the Ketavria. I forgot what it's called. Tail dragger, pretty old, late 50s era design. Very nice. You gotta these old planes really. You gotta be careful. You check them out carefully. It looks like the cockpit's been updated a bit. Very nice. Let's see. Oh yeah. Okay. All right. That's what I want to see. I like to see the cockpit details, where all the pull things are. Some of this is just for like air, hot and cold air intakes. Then it's got a tablet there. You got your compass. Got your little pasty things there. 2 sets of controls. And it's a stick and not a yoke. So that's the thing you can see here. Some planes have a yoke that looks a little like a steering wheel, and some planes have a stick. Older planes often have the stick. It's simpler, but the yoke allows you to do more stuff. I guess I'm not really sure how that works actually. Or okay, all right, very nice. You don't mind me showing doxing you? I don't want to show you, show me too many personal pictures there on other. It's fine though. Okay. Well, thank you for posting that. I appreciate that. Yeah. Well, I'll look at those later. I'd like to see the outside of the plane. I was interested in seeing that. It's okay. Yeah, I figured, but it's you should always ask permission. But the point is, um, we'll look around later. Okay. How about like Florida? How about the Keys? Like Key West. Looks like a pretty day there. And we're in a helicopter. We're gonna try taking off from one of these helicopter pads. Like Key West Marriott Beachside Hotel. I mean, gosh, because I so rarely fly a helicopter, and this could be dicey. I mean, taking off might be okay, but landing or any other kind. But it's all practice. Now, what I do have is helicopter or not helicopter, but they're pedals that foot pedals that I can use. You'll see in a second. So I don't have to rely on this, which I need. And I use my throttle is hooked up to the collective, which means I'm effectively using my right hand to control what a real helicopter would use his left hand to control. But that's just the way it is. I probably could reverse it actually. Could put my thing over there and then use my left hand. I'm not going to do it right now. You know what? It's actually not a bad idea. I'm going to try this. What I'm doing is you're not going to see what I'm doing, but what I'm doing is, I can do this here, is just sliding my control unit down to the left. It's normally controlled by my right hand, but and that's where it would be in a fixed wing plane, but in a helicopter. Oh, there you are. I told you we're East Coast server, and hold on, we're already in. Oh, there's my mouse. This way I can use my right hand to control. Okay, let's see where we are here. So the other thing I discovered, there we are, top of the we're in Key West. There you are. Doesn't say exactly what kind of helicopter. It might be the same. So the one thing I discovered was the view is really constricting in the helicopter, and that's the standard view. But when I use the mouse, I can use my mouse wheel to zoom it out. Unfortunately, I have to do that manually every time. But once I do that, then you get a reasonable, what you'd expect in a helicopter simulation field of view. All right, so let's just, I got my hands on I got my feet, you can see there, those pedals there. That's my feet actually moving physical pedals on the floor, which is kind of cool. So we're going to increase the collective here with my left hand. Got disc coming up here. Yeah, I think controlling, yeah, I changed my mind. I'm going to use the right hand to control. I am going to use my right hand to control the collective. I'm just used to it. Okay, that's where we're taking off from. This is Key West, Florida. It's very pretty. This is a hotel. I guess they have a landing pad on there. Oop. I'm trying to stay kind of low and stable, but we don't want to hit these wires here. I actually do find, okay, and then every time I do this, I got to go back here. That it won't save the view that I need. It is easier to fly these from the inside. There you are. Okay, let's see if we can kind of sync up here a little bit. It's hard with helicopters to formation fly because it's very difficult to predict. We're doing okay. And your propellers aren't moving quite as realistically as I would hope at all. But that's just part of the game. It's for fixed wing planes, it's not such an issue. A little less collective here. I'm gonna have to slide my thing back on the other side. I was wrong. It's definitely better to have my collective operate by the right hand because I'm using my left thumb to control the stick. This thing here, you see that stick there? That's my left thumb. Then I can use my feet for the rotors, which is cool. But then I want to use my right hand for the collective, which is that thing that's normally on the left side of the pilot. But basically, I'm going to be a right hand pilot, as if there was a right hand one. All right, let's head we're heading east, kind of towards the bigger island here, Key West. But yeah, it's just lots of resorts. Oh, the other thing is I got to figure out how to set my trim, right? Oof. Was it this? It was one of these. Oh, it was this. No, it's not setting trim. I got to figure out how to set my trim in this game, or in the. I may not have set it up correctly. Where is the trim here? There's a yaw pitch trim, right? Yeah, I'll disconnect my trim there. I got to figure out the trim situation. Yeah, mouse flying is very difficult. Is extremely difficult, and it should be because you shouldn't be expected to fly a helicopter using mouse and keyboard. That's not how they're designed. They're designed with foot pedals, which I got these kind of fancy foot pedals. I have an analog control that I can use to very carefully control the collective, which is how much general energy is being put into the propeller. So if I want to go down, less collective. If I want to go up, more collective. But it also depends on how fast you're going. Yeah, basically, Hobie, you're gonna have to find me because I'm just trying to fly here. But this is definitely better than the other helicopters in the game. I have to figure out how to set the trim so that we can kind of go decent amount of space. There's somebody else flying around here. Vacuum Atom, probably just somebody flying in the game on the East Coast server. Maybe I wonder if we can catch up to them. They're like 4 miles away, so I don't think so. So let's see, how fast are we going? The other day, science was like, how fast do these helicopters really go? I think this is a good cruise speed, and we're doing about 77, 80 knots. So I think that's for these kind of helicopters, that's typically about as fast as you're going to go. You can go faster, but that's just kind of the design speed. So there's another, this is either the commercial airport, I think this is actually the Air Force base or naval base or whatever it is. I'm not sure. Does it say? Yeah, Key West NAS. That's a Naval Air Station. So this is a naval air base. Got some cool stuff though. There you are. I see you right next to me. You're doing really good. I'm not good at keeping up with at formation flying in a helicopter. I think formation flying in a regular plane is a little easier, but not much. It's a challenge. You're a very good pilot. I spend very little time in the helicopter. Let's just try to follow this. I'm enjoying kind of this scenery here. It's not perfect, but it's kind of fun. You always get the nice kind of tans and greens and blues when you fly around the Key West, Florida area. All right. See, every time I go to this view, I'm like, why am I zoomed in? It's kind of a bug. This is where you want to be, but I got to reset it every time. And the other thing I was talking about with that ATIA was that The problem with the ATIA is that you want to land it, you want to hover, and you want to land vertically, but you can't see underneath you very well. And helicopters have those windows down there, so that when you're landing, you can see the ground. You know, pretty easy. You just lean forward a little bit. How you doing, Pilgrim? Good to see you. Hopefully, our golden haired lady will come back pretty soon. She's been neglecting us. I'm talking about Milo. Um, so I mean, this is a practical craft for being able to land vertically. You got to be able to see the ground. I keep doing that and then having to do this. That's a big regret. I don't like that too much. We're gonna land at the next helicopter pad we find because I find it kind of stressful to fly the helicopter. Not that it's hard. It's just it's just, you know, there is a way you can effectively set the pitch trim, but I don't have figured out what my pitch trim is mapped to currently, and that means it's kind of hard. You know, I can't kind of just let the controls go and keep going. But we're gonna go up here. We're gonna find this next probably a hospital or something. Let's see. Hobie Gal is still over here. They're right behind me. Very good. I'm trying to keep a pretty easy constant height and path here, and that's, you know, basically the only way to keep up with somebody is if they're willing to do that. Well, there's a lot of power lines here. You do not want to be flying this low in a helicopter in the real world. Power lines, not good. Power lines and helicopters do not mix. But you can see this whole area has a lot of power because the power is generated way up there and then it has to be all transferred down to the other islands. The smaller islands, so they have a lot of power demand, so they have to get power poles. I'm giving them some space. I don't want to get electrocuted. By the way, in the game, you can hit a tower, but you're not going to hit the actual wire. Here's some other lovely Key West, Florida, the Florida Keys scenery, just in case people are wondering where we are. It's just kind of a default place I like to go. But I want to pick up the ATIA again for another flight because I feel like I'm still learning a lot about what that can do. And for this flight, I'm thinking, what if we take it under the Eiffel Tower, the ATIA? The fact that you can't program the view in so that's the correct view, well, it's kind of a problem. I just want it to be there when I hit the button. That's where we are. Yeah, watch out for those towers. Oh. Every time I go outside, the other thing is I like to fly outside the plane because I don't have trim set up. It's very hard to fly from outside. From inside, it's pretty easy. I mean, it's relatively easy. Although the 2020 helicopters are a lot more stable for things like hover. Transitioning to hover is going to be easier on 2020. And that also applies to craft that are hybrid, but are not like drones. Like, in other words, like the drone, it doesn't apply to, but the Osprey it applies to, and that Dornier Do-31, which has those jet engines, also has a lot of trouble hovering in 2024 compared to 2020. Yeah, I gotta figure out the trim situation. Because it's supposed to be mapped to certain buttons, and I don't know if I know it is in 2020, but in 2024 I may not have correctly mapped the buttons. Okay, what's our speed here? 74. We'll go a little faster. All right, we're heading for this. Heading for this helicopter. Do you think we can land there? I don't know. This one up here. It's past the it's past the airport. I think that's, yeah, there's a little airport there. We're gonna go to the next one. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do any I don't know, let's find out. Precision landing. But, you know, if I don't try and if I don't learn, if we don't, you know, make some mistakes and figure it out, there's no way to get better. But, yeah, right now I'm not a great helicopter pilot. I mean, getting off the ground and running around like this is not difficult. It's not super easy, but it's not difficult. But I do have my hands on my feet on the rudders, and I'm ready to make rudder corrections if needed. Yeah, keep doing that and then realizing I have to do this. Yeah, and that's the reason. The main reason why I don't want to fly this helicopter is the views are messed up. This is the correct default view, but it won't give me that view. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. It's you know, it's just how it's set up. All right, crossing over this causeway here. Yeah, and I guess there's 2 causeways, there's 2 roads, but it's still dicey how long these little roads are connecting these little islands. But yeah, Florida. It's very remote too. It takes a while to get here. I mean, unless you're flying. And we're flying. How much farther away is this place we want to go? It's about 5 miles. That'll be the helicopter part of the show. You know, as I say, every time I fly them, I'm like, this is cool, but it's not as for various reasons. It's just not as relaxing and fun as a fixed wing flight. The other thing I wanted to do is we haven't been to where we haven't been. Shoot, there was some place I was thinking of. Yeah, no, you probably shouldn't be able to barrel roll a helicopter in a normal circumstances. But yeah, I played a lot of combat games that have helicopters in it, and they don't really prepare you that well for this game because it's trying to be so realistic. Damn it, that's fine. It's trying to be so realistic in how it responds. Oh yeah, the Magni gyro also, because we finally figured out how to map the pre-roll, and I think that's a really cool feature. I was watching another video on the Magni gyrocopter, like the full flight one, and it from that video, I was watching the takeoff roll and how it handled on the ground very carefully. I don't think it's perfectly. It seems like more forgiving the model we have in Microsoft Flight Simulator than the actual real ones, which are a little hairy. Boy, these roads are long, and I mean we're going out, between these islands that are very populated, but also have a lot of distance between them. It's a pretty helicopter. It is definitely a good looker, and we're almost ready to see if we can figure out a way to land. Now I see some radio towers up ahead. And the most important thing about the radio towers, when we come close to these radio towers, you notice the hazard there, or as I like to say, let's try not to hit the guy wires, guys, because it's my favorite joke of all time. See the guy wires? Actually, you can hit those, I believe, in game. Well, we're not gonna. We're going between them. All right, guys, the guy wires are all right. Listen, I'm not gonna use any more of those puns. That's some interesting towers there. All right, where are we heading to? It says something Q-Jock Key helipad. I don't know. How far away is it? 2.5 miles. And that once we hit there, we're going to try to land there and see if we can not explode into a ball of flames. Well, by the way, I heard that the rumor is that the next version of Microsoft Flight Simulator will show things like if an engine catches on fire, huge gouts of reasonably decent looking gouts of flame coming out the back, and should your on fire plane crash into there'll be an explosion, which we don't have anything like that in the game now, that a realistic explosion that shows your plane kind of coming apart and exploding and being on fire. I don't know if that's true or not, but if it is, man, that's going to be a game changer, as I like to say. So far, as I say, they have not really ever attempted to simulate an actual crash. All right, you're ahead of me. By the way, Hobie, I don't know if you're listening, but you are a much better helicopter. Of course, almost everyone is. And plus I have my collective on the wrong side. I'll fix it for next time. Okay, do I have this fully one? Also, trying to land from the outside view, forget about it. I can barely fly from the outside view, much less land. But yeah, make sure to give yourself plenty of time to transition to hover on these things. It takes them a while. We're going to come in low. I'm going to start slowing down as we approach the LZ, as we call it. Oh, there's a blimp there, which is kind of cool. There's like a weather balloon style blimp there. That's kind of wild. We're going to slow down a bit here. Slow down by bringing the nose up. Bring the nose up. Now we can kind of be more of a hovering kind of craft here. That's pretty wild. Looks like you made a nice landing there. I'm not sure what this place is, but it's an actual place to visit. So we're going to get out and look around if we can survive this. This is really cool. If we could land here, it's going to be really cool. Anywhere in here. I guess it wants us to land on the other side of this thing here. Let's see if we can do it. Too hard. Too hard. That was too hard. But I was close. Let me try one more time. Let me try one more time. Yeah, it looks like a really cool spot. But yeah. Okay. All right. Hold on a second here. No, first of all, not from inside. Or not from outside. Only from inside. Make the wide view here. I was close. It's just... The problem is my collective is not in a good location. Okay, you're over there. That's where I gotta go. Alright, we're heading there. I'll be there in a second. Let's try number 2. I think I kind of landed on the wrong side. We're gonna try to land on the more open area here. You really got to adjust the collective like continuously to do a good landing. And right now, you can see I'm kind of not in a comfortable position because I repositioned my collective mistakenly. Because it's not just you got to get to a point, you got to land soft, and that's not so easy. Let's see if I can figure it out. Alrighty, that was a landing. That's about as good a landing as I'm ever gonna do. Boy, I cut it close to those trees. But the cool effect is the trees are moving in my breeze. There's some nice effects in this game that I don't always expect. Whew. All right, that was those are hairy, those landings. All right, so if I get out of the thing, I just want to check if this is a really cool area. Okay, we just killed ourselves in the blade. That's fine. You got this, I think these are weather balloons or something, but it's the incredible detail on how they launch and capture them using these mooring rigs here. I have never been here before, and that is a ton of detail. I mean, obviously it's a blimp. Doesn't have an internal structure, so it's not a dirigible, but that is really cool. And then we got 2 helicopters right next to each other. There you go. There's yours. Unfortunately, it does not. Someday we'll have a version of the program which both of our blades can spin. Mine are spinning. All right, I want to fly around. It was okay. I'm honestly going to look at this tomorrow, and go. Could I've done better? But this is definitely going to be my go-to helicopter for training. I think I can learn to do it better each time. Yeah. And I think for me the trick is having that outside view. In fact, now that I'm on the ground, I'm moving making sure the controls are on the right place, which they're not right now. Hold on a second here. I'm gonna fly something fixed wing. Although maybe we should do what I wanted to do. This thing I want to do, the ATA, which is try to fly under. See what happens if you land under the Eiffel Tower. My theory is it's kind of muddy down there, but it's just a theory. I know you can get under there, but there are very few planes that you can literally land under it, and we can with this one. All right, let's check it out. Okay, by the way, plenty of Diet Coke left. Oh my goodness. We're 30 minutes in, but I've barely gotten a few sips of the Diet Coke. By the way, it's one thing I want to check here before we leave. Actually, what I really want to do is take a nice screenshot, because it's a beautiful place. Okay. Oops. This is just a real. I completely randomly chose this landing location, and it's really cool. Maybe we'll go from here to make it even more dramatic. Perfect. That's a screenshot for the ages. Yeah. Hello. Hold on, I gotta move this here. Just moving things around a bit. All right. So second flight. And on here. We're not gonna shut it down. They can come pick up my plane later. I like to leave them in traffic normally. Let the gendarmes deal with it. All right. So first of all, I want to, we got a new plane. I'm kind of figuring it out, but I want to try landing it under the Eiffel Tower, and it should be pretty. Oh yeah. I thought that the last livery we tried was ugly and didn't look good. The digital. Let's stay away from the digital and camouflage. We did pink, which is amazing. A bubble gum. Let's just do the red one. Red's not objectionable. I personally think a red plane's a pretty cool looking plane. Yeah, that's why. We're going to go into hover mode. So, and I haven't flown under the Eiffel Tower in a long time. Might have been years. Okay, it's right in the center. Wait, that's Madrid. It's right in the center of Spain. That's where the Eiffel Tower is. No, it's right in the center of what did they give it? Yeah, this one is right. Well, Charles de Gaulle. Well, where's Charles de Gaulle? Let's see. Okay, there. I was close. We're gonna change the time of day. So there's Charles de Gaulle, but the actual is way over here, right? When it's way over here, it's kind of far away. We can get there. All right. So we're gonna start the flight. We're not gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna change the time. It's a little late in the day. It's probably a little late in the evening. We'll see how it goes. I like that you can kind of make a decision about whether you want it to be light or dark, and it magically ascends. It might still be sunset. Yesterday when we went to Netherlands, we went to Rotterdam, and it was sunset. That was some beautiful ass flying. Yeah, it was the same time of day. That's what happens. It's the live time of day or this kind of sunset. It's really nice. But you can still see things like how bright the logo lights are. The logo lights being the logo lights being the lights on the back, these really bright lights on the back of the things. There's also lights on the bottom. You can kind of see it when we're flying, but it says Ascendance on the bottom. It's a very fancy looking plane. Okay, we got parking brake off. Right, parking brake is off. What does that say there? Okay, we're all set. We're in hover mode. But since we're on a runway, we're going to take off in fly mode, just because we don't normally do that. It's very similar in that case to just flying a regular plane. You advance the throttle, which gives power to the 4 turbine engines that provide electricity, and that electricity causes the rotors to spin up. It's really interesting how that connection between your throttle and causing more current causes the fans to speed up. Once we hit about 70 knots, we can go and just kind of rotate, I believe, and we'll fly. It's definitely got plenty of power. Or maybe it's a little faster. It's about there. You can bring the gear up, but that doesn't do anything, I don't think. The gear is basically down. But yeah, that logo light is crazy. Okay, we want to go south. We're basically heading to Paris. It's a little bit of a trip. Okay, we can reduce power, but we don't want to go. We can do like 140 knots there. Yeah, so the sun is still up. It's basically golden hour. We might even want to go a little later. But if I remember correctly, I will find out. We're not going to be able to miss the Eiffel Tower. It's about a 10-minute flight there, I believe, at this speed, which we're going pretty fast. I mean, we're going about as fast as certainly faster than a typical Cessna or, one of those single-engine planes, general aircraft planes are going to be. Here's Charles de Gaulle, beautiful, lots of shadowing, lots of detail, huge airport, massive. There's a couple of giant airports near Paris, right? And then there's the I was wondering. It's like in England, there's the London in England. In London, there's the London City Airport, which is right next to the city, which we should do in this plane too, just to kind of see. I should be checking my task manager because I want to see. Okay, dedicated GPU memory 9.5 out of 12. Once it hits 12, it puts out that message. It gets real framey, but we're doing good. This plane doesn't seem to have a lot of resources associated with it. Um, Pretty again. We got like the way the sun passes through the clouds. That's not so horrible, is it? I kind of like it. And then hits there. I mean, that's kind of a screenshot right there. I mean, seriously, that's kind of a screenshot right there. I mean, so this plane, one thing it certainly does is provide sightseeing. And again, if you want to go on a nice long flight, it's got an autopilot, so you can just set it on a course at an altitude and it will hold it. So there's the fancy part, or there's the part of Paris that everyone goes to, and then there's La Défense, which is where the tall, modern buildings are, because Paris itself doesn't have any buildings taller than 5 stories tall. Yeah, it's getting a little framey there. Let me check my brain RAM. Now at 10.1, it's already gone up half a gig since I last checked it. So yeah, probably will hit 12. It's just France, Paris is a very resource-heavy area. I don't want to get too much lower in this, but I don't want to get too much higher either. This is the other airport, right? The Bourget. Whoop, overspeed, almost died. But you can see, I think that's La Défense in the distance there. But you can see I think that direction there is the Eiffel Tower, or La Tour Eiffel. And we'll be transiting into hover mode and going under that bad boy, but also stopping and landing. My theory is it's very soft under there. It's like when a helicopter wants to go to. Well, yeah, and it's extremely relaxing to fly compared to those helicopters. Again, I mean, you can kind of just, with this mode it flies like a plane. Again, everything is all very smooth, and then basically you just press a button and it acts like the world's most stable helicopter. We can easily land at a heliport on a dime wherever we want to land. I just want to check out the stadium here. What is it? It says, where is it? Stade de France, the stadium of the French stadium of France. But well, the one thing I know is it's on the river, the Eiffel Tower. So as long as we're on the river, we should be able to find it. The lights just came on the Stadium de France, or the model lights, but I haven't seen a lot of this stuff lit up at night. So, whoop, overspeeding, slow down. That's our limit. That's your limit right there. Stadium de France. Okay, so the river's over here. I think most of the it kind of winds around. But where the tall buildings, we're gonna check out the tall buildings too. And there you are. You're in your ATIA. Very nice. We're matching. I don't know if you picked red, but it maybe just by convenience shows them both as red. But yeah, we're gonna find out if you can land underneath the tower, or the Eiffel Tower. There is a flat space under there, but I've never tried landing there. And in my barn, everything is soft. And you definitely get a lot of whining sound. It's a beautiful, beautiful evening. And most of where we're going is down that way, including the Eiffel Tower, I believe. But we'll check out. We're going to check out La Défense. There's a great kind of thing you can do where effectively there's a road, there's a long boulevard and a row of tall buildings on each side, and you can go down the boulevard, and then I think you can go between a building, inside a building. Well, we'll figure it out. Inside the building has a gap you can fly through, which I've done many times, if I remember correctly. This is the Seine down here. It winds around quite a bit. You can see famous buildings in the Défense are all marked out with their names. But we're going to come in this way. The Paris is that way, and it's kind of aimed that way. I'll meet you up in a second. As soon as I fly through La Défense. So speed, a little more speed now. You want to maintain a minimum of 120, but a maximum of like 140. You want to be kind of in that yellow range. We're just below the yellow range there. Okay, we're going to come in here. It looks beautiful at night. Gosh, all the buildings. The thousands and thousands of buildings. Maintain. Oh, and the way the sun's coming under the cloud layer right now, right? So that's when it gets really, really brilliant. Okay, so this little road I was talking about is this one right here. Well, that's a little road, but it's up here. I'm gonna make a sharp left turn. Come in through here. Oh yeah, that's the building you can go through. I don't think we'll be able to get through there. So this is this long boulevard I was talking about. It's kind of like I remembered. Lights are coming on. Lots of cool, unique buildings. So this is kind of the financial center. And then we have up ahead. Ooh, that's some stuttering. I'm gonna check here. I must have filled up the buffer. No, it still says 10.1 out of 12. All right. So the Eiffel Tower is around here somewhere. Okay, there's the Champs-Élysées, the Arc de Triomphe, excuse me. So the Champs-Élysées. Yeah, it's right around here. We gotta get a little closer to it. All right, so this is it here. We can see it here. It's gonna look real pretty. I mean, it's not giant, but man, Paris is so iconic. There's the Trocadero. This is the Seine, Paris on Seine. Oops, overspeeding. Slow her down. I have a tower. So my plan is to go down there and see if there's a hard landing surface under there or not. We're gonna make a turnaround. Lots of buildings you see though. Les Invalides. It's a whole area here. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna slow us down, and I'm gonna go into hover mode. Can I go into hover mode? Let's just find out. Yes, I can. And then we're gonna turn around on a dime and head towards the oof. All right, now I'm getting some forward speed going. All right, that's fine. But I'm still in hover mode. We're gonna have to lose altitude if I want to get underneath that Eiffel Tower. Yeah, I didn't see. Unfortunately, I'm still doing it. But it might, I could, I want to basically for the very first time. I want to see. I know I can fly under, but I kind of want to see how, what it looks like when we land under there. If we can, I know you, because I know you can get under there. All right, so we're gonna try to increase our downward speed here. Line up here. Yeah, it looks like the terrain underneath is kind of rough. But let's find out. It's like under construction. Okay, so I just don't want to crash into the ground too hard. This is about as close as I've gotten to the looking at the detail of the Eiffel Tower. But we are in basically a drone, so we can take our time at this point. This is what it looks like from here. Kind of cool. That's what the Eiffel Tower looks like from underneath. You're not going to get this view in the real world ever. I don't think they let you, take you right to jail. I wonder if maybe there is like a patterned thing there. All right, landing. We're going to see if it's hard or if it's soft. Like my theory is you might just sink into it. Because that's what happened to my barn. But yeah, the detailing, like on the base, yeah, it put me on the top. What mode are we in, by the way? We're in fly. Okay, we'll be fine. Yeah, you can't land there. You can fly through. We'll fly through. But yeah, I've determined there's some places you can land, and that ain't one of them. It put me right on the top of the tower. And then it said you crashed. I don't want to stall, but I kind of want to fly that tower. What's the problem? Gets a little framey. Yeah, I get the research thing there. It's a little framey. I don't think we survived that one. Yeah, so if I go back here to my task manager, yeah, it's 11.9. It did hit the, okay, but it hit the limit, but then it started going down a bit again. So yeah, you can still see how framey it is once I hit my VRAM limit. It was worth it. It will eventually kind of clear out, but yeah, we get down to the like 5 frames per second. What is it bugging me about here, by the way? What is it saying? Gear up. Gear down. The gear doesn't actually go up or down. I'm not sure what that means. All right. Now that we've flown out of ground level, it's still trying to. Come on, this is that. I'm asking a lot of my GPU here. Wow. All right. Well, we'll watch one a little later. We'll watch one of what you sent because I don't mind. I would like to. Yeah. Well, this is a little too much. But you can see the sun going down. I mean, this is my GPU, my CPU. I need more VRAM. Plus, I'm streaming at the same time. So yeah, that's not good. Not good. Yeah. I want to see if I. Oh, and that's wrong there too. Hold on a second. I want to see if I try something real quick here. If I go to options, sometimes this kind of clears it. Go to options. And then I got to turn off frame generation. And then go back. Frame generation to me is usually what causes the issue. Let's see. I don't think so in this case, though. Yeah, it's not frame generation. It's just out of memory. But yeah, I'm getting 3 frames per second. All right, well, we learned something. Yeah, no, it's not just you. It's everyone can see this. It's not the stream lagging. I'm fine. It's my computer is getting bogged down by the fact that we're flying next to Paris at night. All the shadows, all the buildings. Sorry about that. It is what it is. Yeah, we may have to call the flight simulator stream a little early. But, hey, we got some, see, watch, as soon as I get out of this, get to the main menu here. It takes a while. It's really bogging down my computer. It's really taking a long time to bring up the user interface. Like, everything is slow. I may even have to quit out of Microsoft Flight Simulator entirely at this point. Yeah, because it's still kind of, I'm going to check my thing here. Yeah, like the GPU is still at 100%. CPU is not at nothing though. So the CPU is now, I got to figure out my settings. It's fine. Well, it's still lagging. It's still lagging because the flight simulator is still just going nuts. Hold on a second. Watch this. Yeah, I've never seen it do this, where it's like even the user interface is like causing it to lag. Well, it's the first time for everything. Yeah, YouTube is not receiving enough video. So my YouTube it's noticing it, but it's gonna be fine now. I mean, you know what I mean? That'll go away eventually. Boy, I'm really behind on my YouTube here. Let me see if I can get up to. Is that? Well, YouTube is really behind. And okay, all right. Hold on a second here. All right, what did you send me? Get to YouTube. All right. What does it look like here? Let me take a look here. Oh, there's a whole bunch of these. All right, well, watch the first one. Hold on a second here. Skibidi Toilet, Zombie Universe 67. I know. It's you know, the point is I'm streaming and playing the game on one PC. I do have two PCs that are both pretty good. Yeah, it's not solid. It teleported me to the top of the Eiffel Tower, and then I crashed because I smashed into the top of the Eiffel Tower. It looks pretty good, but hey, no, I'm just curious. I'm not surprised, but then I got as soon as I tried to fly under, which I did, it got down to like one of those 2 frames per second things, and then it was nothing I could do, but it was slowing down my whole computer and my stream. Which one? You want me to do this one or not? That's not the first one? Universe 67? Hold on a second then. This is what it pointed to, right? Oh, right. There's 66, 65, 64. That's the last one. Which one do you want? This one? 1 to 59? Which episode? Which episode should be it? Should I go 1 to 59? There's a whole bunch of these. I mean, there's hundreds of these. He's got 79 videos in here. Which one? Which one do you want? Yeah, I just kind of sank in. You just kind of sank in. That's interesting because I didn't sink in. I teleported to the top. But that's what happened to me when in my barn. Was just scroll all the way down. All the way down? All right. All the way down. This one here? All right. Let's give it a whirl. How long is it? This one's only a minute, so we'll watch a few of these. Skibidi Zombie. Okay, this one is what if there were zombies in the Skibidi toilet. And this is some of the good early stuff, which you can clearly see that they are toilets, heads in toilets. Later on, it becomes very obfuscated, and they, you know, early on they can. Oh, see, he's a zombie alliance dude. Not a bad idea. The question is, can you make? Oh yeah, you can make zombie toilets too. I was gonna say, can you make zombie Skibidi? Thank you. I had fun time. I will be flying again tomorrow. Of course, always drop by, and I really enjoy when we have like these multiple flying sessions. It adds another layer of interesting content. I know you don't like this stuff, so I'll see you next time. All right, that's number 1. Let's watch. So the next one is number 2, right? I mean, do I have to get it? Yeah, Skibidi Zombie Universe number 2. So like, there's a virus that's inhabiting some of them, causing them to, and they're not like they're not changing sides to the other side. They're just becoming zombies, zombified versions of themselves. It's kind of cool. Now the thing, I think some of this stuff is standard assets from the source filmmakers. So you gotta substitute different heads in. That's pretty cool. This is some better and more creative animation than some of the other what-ifs. Because, and it definitely riffs on what the familiar things. The Mini 500. Really? A target with a dot that centers when you're over a helicopter. Really? That would make it really easy. Well, again, I need to. The 2 things that are wrong with that helicopter is I don't like the view. The default view is zoomed in, and it needs to be wide angle. And other helicopters have the wide angle view as a default view. I didn't know where my trim is. You have to be able to set pitch trim so that you can move forward in a straight line without having to push the stick forward. It's a standard part of any helicopter. And so since I did not get my act together to figure out how to set the pitch trim, that also makes it very hard to fly helicopters for any kind of period of time. Let's do one more of these. So let's see. The next one is number 3. These are very short. These are less than a minute. But it takes a lot of work to do these. You have to appreciate that. Especially because it looks like these are all kind of original. I mean, like the backdrops are very similar because they are the same. But you know, and the toilets are already there, so you can kind of make Skibidi toilets. But the things like the Titan, you know, those Titan figures, which are very unique and interesting creations. But that guy's got a tongue. See, so the non-zombified Skibidis and Alliance dudes are all gonna be like, well, let's kill the zombies before we kill each other. See, they come alive again. I'll check out the Mini 500 and see if maybe it might be. I mean, the issue with the pitch trim is my own. I just haven't set it up correctly on the controller from 20. I had it set up on 2020 like I liked it, and I don't think I set it up at all on 2024. It has to be something on a control because you can never hit something on a movie target, which is what the stick is. All right, we're gonna do. What time is it? We got a little more time because there's a bunch of these. And I kind of like it. It's actually cool. Zombified versions of Table Finger. And so the Alliance and the Skibidi Toilets have to work together. But of course, eventually, even if they get rid of the zombies, but how do you kill zombies? First, I gotta figure that out. Oof. Also, those other, the later episodes, it's just energy weapons and shields. I want to see some actual machine guns getting fired, blood spurting. But that's just me. All right, that's really good though. But we're not gonna watch any more of that today. But that was a really good suggestion. I like that one. Oh, just in time, charming attacker and cheap viewers. All right. Well, if you enjoy that content, then why would you? We got to move on. The show has to move. There's always more content to make, but I like to keep everything in sort of its formatted segments. The next thing is going to be, if I bring up the Big Brain game, which the first of which is a Quirtle. And then we're going to do the reveals. You get the picture. I could do it the same way every time. But let's get started because, I'd like to pack these into about 10 minutes. But we got lots more of those to watch. And it may be a while before episode 79 comes out. I saw somebody else, a streamer, who was plays this game and posts the results in their thing. And they also had 3 starting words and they were different, but they were very good. And I was like, that is interesting. I'm not the only one who has this concept of 3 starting words that have all 5 vowels, a word that has Y at the end, and then 9 other consonants, her consonants that were different. But I want to talk to her about that. Okay, what do we got here? It's something like giant on the lower right. This is like a warm-up game here. Now we have Grace on the upper left. This could be a fairly easy starter game today. And the final one, okay, this one will be a little hard here. Could it be Egret? Might be Egret. All right, warm-up game. See if the brain is working. So far, it's hard to say. This one will tell us yes or no, the revealed. How we play the revealed. Okay, science and tech. That's a good category for me. It gives us, okay, so it's a, let's see, 8-letter word and a 7-letter word. Then we have a heavily redacted document, which I have to read and say blank, blank, blank. It's kind of a pain in the ass. And we will be able to reveal some of these, but I'm going to try to figure out as much as we can about what this science and tech clue is by reading it in the following manner. Blank, or sorry, the thing, blank, 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 thing created by blank, blank, blank. The blank or blank, blank was blank as the blank in blank on July 15th, blank. The blank offered the blank to the popular blank, such as blank on a blank, and it was extremely blank. Blank success in blank triggered blank interest. This is an interesting one. And blank began in order to blank the something to the blank. After a showing at the blank and a blank, the blank stormed blank in February blank with blank such as blank, 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 most blank, blank. Wow. Showing at the, where was the showing? Consumer Electronics Show. Consumer Electronics Show. Kind of interested in what year it was. 1983. Well, that was the introduction time of the Apple Macintosh, but that doesn't fit in here. And it's definitely not Macintosh. Some kind of early computer product. CES, July 15th, 1983. Right around 1983 was the initial time, as a little before the Apple Macintosh was introduced. What was before then? That was before then. I'm getting pretty stumped here. Duck Hunt. Oh, all right. It's a video game. That makes more sense. I think we got a few. So I think it's Nintendo. 1983. It was before the Switch. It was Nintendo. There was Nintendo 64. That doesn't fit in there. It's got to be Nintendo though, right? With an N there. Nintendo. Shit. What were the various different Nintendo consoles? It was not a Switch. It was not a Wii. How many? There haven't been that many Nintendos before the Nintendo. Hold on a second here. Nintendo GameCube. No, that doesn't fit. Can't be a GameCube. Can't be Wii. I mean, Switch was not introduced that recently. That doesn't fit, right? No, it doesn't fit. I'm sure Nintendo is right. It is. It told us that there. Nintendo Entertainment System. Not Virtual Boy. Oh, Game Boy. Nintendo Game Boy. That's gotta be it. All right, eventually figured it out. Not Game Boy. That's the only thing that would fit. Interesting. We know it's Nintendo. This is kind of interesting. Did I misspell it? It's gotta be Game Boy. Right? No. 1983. But yeah, the Game Boy came out after that. It was the Famicom. Is that what they're looking for? No, who's going to know that? The family computer. That's not right either. That came out in 83. What is this going to be? Is this one console? That would be crappy. That's stupid. All right, we're moving on with our lives. Close enough for government work. I call that solved. Nintendo console. I bet a lot of people needed extra hints because of that. Was kind of, I mean, it's an NES. It's a Nintendo Entertainment. It was never called a console back then. All right, we're moving on to the next game. This is going to be the hardest tightrope trivia of the week. You can see it gets from easier to harder. Today is the hardest. Sunday is the hardest one, and I usually get my ass kicked on it, even though I consider myself a trivia master. It is what it is. Let's see how we do. Grazing sheep during World War One. World War was one of these. Was it Wilson? Oh, what a good guess. Sheesh. Like I know this stuff. She was more than 3,000. Shares a border with 4 of the 5 Great Lakes. Michigan? That's a lot of shoreline. Diamonds are 10. What value is only 2.5 to 3? Well, gold is the only soft material of those 4 listed. It's not really a mineral. It's a metal. Give up atheism. CS. Good job, JR. So he took intro to modern daily purely for his own edification. These are relatively easy for Sunday ones. That first one was the hardest one. Primates are bright colors, both facing of the mandrill. That kind of nature stuff I will definitely get. Justify holding prison. Writ of habeas corpus. Hold the body. Musician is Mr. Jean. Okay, I think we can cross this tightrope, even if we get one wrong. What composer was famously in debt when he died? Mozart. Died in a pauper's grave. They moved it eventually, but sad, huh? All right, that I feel really good because that's the hardest. Yesterday I got my ass kicked, and today I kicked his ass. Don't step up to me. Not only did I get all of them right, I got them right pretty quickly. I'm a tightrope trivia master, and today I received the highest ranking of, I'll tell you what it is. Clever Funambulist, that's the highest ranking. Trust me. Over 2,300 points. Oh my God. All right, we got a couple more games to do, and then there's going to be a short break, and then I'm going to bring my fancy cheap guitar. We're going to talk guitars. I'm going to play some guitars. We're going to look at pictures of guitars. It'll be very, very, very nerdy guitar stuff. But I got 2 more games to go. We're going to do the Quirtle, the Octurtle, the 8-game, 5-letter word puzzle, 8 words. We'll do the basic warm-up one here, and then we're going to do the rescue, which is the hardest one. There's a bunch of other ones. Okay, lower left heavy got 4 out of 5, but it could be Clash or Class. So we're going to wait and see if we can get I'm good, Charles. How are you doing? See if we can get I don't know if you've been here recently, but I added this segment between my flying segment and the musical performance segment, which is coming up later. I call it the big brain game. So I play just some of these online. These are like daily online puzzle games that I like to do. I do them every day anyway, so I figured might as well just do them on oh, I like this one here. This lower left one could be patched, and that'll give us the H if it is. It is. So we know this can't be clash, and it can't be clasp because there's no P in it. So it really has to be class with 2 S's. Notice that it ends in S, but it's not a plural world. You technically shouldn't have. This one up here, though, is this one is upper left here is probably going to be octal, OFT. Good thing I'm a software engineer. All right, but I do 2 of these games, then we're going to do the break, and that's it for the brain games today. I did really well on the trivia today. Okay, this one here, I like for the lower left, I like Surly. I like Surly for that one. This one up here, N, E, and R. Well, this could be never, though. Let's try never, N-E-V. You get a few extra guesses if you get it wrong, but it could be never. See, I was right. I'm good at this game. It's because I do them every day. All right, this over here, S, could be Snoop. It could be something else, but I like to guess Snoop. It was Snoop. This one here, we haven't gotten it yet. It looks like we have, but it's surer. Now we have one left to do. Is this one here? Okay. It ends in E-L-L. Okay. It could be. So what does that mean? E-L-L. But Could be dwell, Dwell. All right, so we're down to the hard version. This is, they say they do like 5 of these different games a day. But this is, I like to save up for the hardest one. This is it's called the rescue. You don't get to use your starting words. It chooses 4 random ones for you in addition to the 8 random words that you have to solve, and that makes it very hard. Although sometimes, this could be a lower left. You think, oh, it could be timer, but it could also be miter, Miter. I want to wait a little bit on that one. Over here, though, we have a B in the middle. There's an ELA. And we know where the E is. So it could be a bunch of things. Could be ABLE, but which makes it, in fact, I'm sure it is. But it could be fable, label. It can't be label. Maybe it can only be fable. Let's try fable. Oops. So it's kind of a process of elimination to figure these out. It was fable. Good. That's the first one. Oh my God, we've been playing this game for 6 years. All right, what else do we got here? This one here, AXI. Can't be axial because the A can't appear there again. But it can be axion, AXION, which is good because we needed that O and the N. But yeah, because of that AXI, pretty much knew what was that the possibilities were there. This one here, okay, we know the E goes, oh no, the E's over there. Could be right, WRITE. Let's try it. It could also be trite. You know, I'm going to wait on that one because of that. Let's see if we have one that has a little more. Okay, here we have an I. We have, it could have a U in it, but we know it has a T and an L and an R. So what could that be? It could be trill, TRI, but it could be twirl, TWIRO. All right, let's wait a little bit there. Looks like we're going to have to do some guessing here. All right, let's guess timer. It could be miter. It was timer. That's a very lucky thing. Now we're going to move on. This one here, we know where the AS, and there's an I. And what else is there? All we know is there's an I, but it's not there. It's either at the beginning or the end. If it's at the beginning, it's A something. It's I something AS. What could that be? Yeah, I don't think it can be in with I. And because it ends in I, ASI, I think it's quasi, QUASI. That's, you have to play this game a lot to, not stone. No, you're going to have to play a lot of this game to beat me. Because these words, the thing is, I've seen these words before, but not very often outside the context of this particular game. After playing like every day for a year. All right, let's see if we can find one. Now we're getting more clues, though. Let's see. This could be STO, but then NY. It could be stony, STONY on the lower left there. And I want to guess it. I'm really good at this game. Don't try this at home. Well, try it at home. Okay, this one here, it still could be trill, TRILL, but it could still be twirl, TWIR. Yeah, it still could be trill or twirl. I'm going to wait on that one. Quasi, yeah, I mean, it's a word. This one's going to be hard. I think this upper left one we can get here now, because now we know it's T blank I blank E. And there's an R. So it's TRI something E. And I could think it could be, or T something IRE. I don't think the R is at the end. I think it's TR something. But let's see. I just want to make sure. Yeah, it's definitely TRI. But then what? It could be trice, right? Trice, because that's word. It could be trike with a K, but I don't think so. All right, let's guess trice. Oh, it wasn't trice, but that's all right. We have an extra guess. I think it has to be, oh no, it could be trite. I think let's try trite. Okay. Yeah, trike I don't think would be in there. All right, we still have two guesses and we still have two words to guess. So this one again, it can now that we know that the R can't be in the second position, it couldn't have been trill, which I'm glad I didn't guess it, but it still could be twirl, TWIRL. And now I'm 99% sure it's twirl. You got to wait until you're pretty sure. We only have one guess left to win this game or lose it, and we have very little information here. What we know is that where the R is and that there's a U and an I in it. Let's see. The I can only be at the beginning or in position 4. Let's see. It can't be fruit. F-R-U. R. It could be R-U-I. Something. R-U-I-K. R-U-I-G. See, I'm thinking if it's R-U-I. Let me just. Like D-R-U-I-D. All right, it's either Druid and we win, or it's Druid, or it's not Druid and we lose. We won. I get excited because I only win about 50% of those, and don't win means you ran out of guesses because you only get a limited number of guesses, and that was the last one. So you have to get all 8 words in as many guesses. You only have effectively 9 guesses. You can only get 1 wrong. If you get 2 wrong, you ain't gonna finish it. All right, so that means we have finished off the big brain game. Oh, by the way, I should have gone into the just chatting category. Nobody cares. But for the musical category, I do want to make sure to go into the musical category. Okay, I'm using into the musical category. I'm going to take a short break. I'm going to bring this guitar in over here. We're going to talk about guitars. I guess I'm going to play around on my guitar. I'll probably sing a few songs. It's not going to be good, but it is what it is. I like to do it. We got plenty of Diet Coke left. There's still ice. It's nice and brown. It's not tan. It's got plenty of oomph to it. Yeah, we'll see you in about 3 minutes. See if this works a little better here. Yeah, that's better. Okay, move this down. There, maybe. I'm slightly changing the way I'm doing things a little bit. Okay, all right. Got the mic position pretty much where I need it to be. My face. Warm a little bit. Welcome to the musical segment. All right, so I want to talk about this guitar a little bit. Here, let's go back to here a bit. This is, I bought this on Amazon from, about a month ago. This is what I call my fancy cheap guitar here. You can't really see too well. Here it is, right? It's these Leo James. I don't know where they're made. I guess they're made in China or somewhere. It's the Hurricane Deluxe series, right? They also make the regular Hurricane series. The one I got was this green one. This one of these green ones. I think this one is the one that looks most, they're similar. But the one, and then now they're down to $250. They were like 280 or 275. And then for a while they were 400, but they got this color here so it looks a lot, it's got, basically identical. It's got that, the same kind of frets. But this wacky looking body here, it has appeal to me. Especially now that I know that you can set, these guitars don't necessarily come set up from the factory all that well. But they are set upable. I mean, I've been able to set this guitar up correctly. I had to adjust everything on it that you can adjust. Except for I didn't take the neck off and put it back on. It's a bolt-on neck, but I did adjust the truss rod, greatly lowered the strings, and they're basically as low as you can go with this particular bridge. I would have to adjust the neck if I needed them to go any lower than that, but it's fine. They're low enough, and you get a lot of nice features in this guitar. You get push-pull tone pot. If you want that single coil sound, which sounds really good. Coil, neck, both coils, bridge, All right, let's sing a song here. Actually, I'm going to sing Spaceman. That's fine. Hold on a second. Spaceman by the Killers. Spaceman by the Killers, one of my favorite bands. It goes like this. Oh, I need to get the lyrics up because I forgot them every single time. All right. I kind of know the lyrics, but I knew them. All right. This is Spaceman by one of my favorite bands, The Killers. Not, I mean, they're not REM, but they're still up there. Started with a low light. The next time they ripped me from my bed. Then they took my blood type. Left a strange impression in my head. You know that I was hoping that I could leave this star-crossed world behind. Then they cut me open. Guess I changed my mind. And I know I might have just flown too far from the floor this time. 'Cause they're calling me by my name and they're zipping white light beam regarding bombs and satellites. That was the turning point. That was one lonely night. Star Maker says it ain't so bad. Dream Maker's gonna make you mad. Spaceman says everybody look down. It's all in your mind. But now I'm back at home and I'm looking forward to this life I live. You know it's gonna haunt me. So hesitation to this life I give. Think I might cross over. You're caught between the devil and the deep blue sea. You better look it over before you make that leap. And I know I'm fine, but I hear those voices at night. Sometimes they justify my claim, and the public don't dwell on my transmission, 'cause it wasn't televised. But it was the turning point. Oh, what a lonely night. Star Maker says it ain't so bad. Dream Maker's gonna make you mad. Spaceman says everybody look down. It's all in your mind. Star Maker says it ain't so bad. Dream Maker's gonna make you mad. Spaceman says everybody look down. It's all in your mind. My global position systems are vocally addressed. They say the Nile used to run from east to west. They say the Nile used to run from east to west. I'm blind, but I hear those voices at night sometimes. Sunmaker says it ain't so bad. Dreammaker's gonna make you mad. Spaceman says everybody look down. It's all in your mind. Sunmaker says it ain't so bad. Sunmaker says it ain't so bad. Dreammaker's gonna make you mad. Spaceman says everybody look down. It's all in your mind. All in my mind. All in my mind. All in my mind. I gotta work on the chords a little bit. The Spaceman. Thank you, by the way. Good to see you, Licensed Step. We're not gonna be singing Secret Asian Man. That's a keyboard song. But we do some of my favorite acoustic guitar songs, or semi-acoustic. Well, there is a house in New Orleans they call the rising sun, and it's been the ruin of many a poor boy, and God I know. My mother was a tailor. She sewed my new blue jeans. My father was a gambling man down in New Orleans. Now mothers tell your children not to do as I have done. Spend your life in sin and misery in the house of the rising sun. I got one foot on the platform and another foot on the train. I'm going down to New Orleans to wear that ball and chain. I was a house in New Orleans they call the rising sun, and it's been the ruin of many a poor boy, and God I know. All right, I'm gonna sing Sister Golden Hair, but not karaoke. Well, I tried to make it Sunday, but I got so damn depressed. And I set my sights on Monday, and I got myself undressed. I ain't ready for the be altered, but I do agree there's times when a woman sure can be a friend of mine. Well, I keep on thinking about you, Sister Golden Hair Surprise, and I just can't live without you. Can't you see it in my eyes? I've been one poor correspondent, I've been too hard to find, but it doesn't mean you ain't been on my mind. Will you meet me in the middle? Will you meet me in the air? Will you love me just a little, just enough to show you care? When I tried to face it, I don't mind saying I just can't make it. Well, I keep on thinking about you, Sister Golden Hair Surprise, and I just can't live without you. Can't you see it in my eyes? I've been one poor correspondent, I've been too hard to find, but it doesn't mean you ain't been on my mind. Will you meet me in the middle? Will you meet me in the air? Will you love me just a little, just enough to show you care? When I tried to face it, I don't mind saying I just can't make it. Little tune up here. Pretty close. Stays in tune pretty well. I think I make some adjustments to it to make it stay in tune a little better. Stairway to Heaven made it go way off. Close enough. All right, that's what we call the freshly brewed coffee. What? No Diet Coke? That's what we call the music store version of Stairway to Heaven. You know, where's my camera? This is what we call coffee around here. It's a cold caffeinated brown beverage of unidentifiable flavor. All right, next song is called, I like to do this one as an instrumental. We're going to switch over a bit. Just do a couple R.E.M. songs. This instrumental is called, I've never really heard of the band. It's called Modern Jesus. It goes like this. Come on in, take a seat next to me. You know we got what you need. We may be liars preaching to choirs, but we can sell your dreams. You don't need sympathy, they got a pill for everything. Just take a dark cloud, bring him out to wash it down. But I don't pray for us. We don't need no modern Jesus to roll with us. The only rule we need is never giving up. The only faith we have is faith in us. We are the ones who start little fires. If they burn out, but when they're on the rise, they can't help but shine. And when the wave approaches, take our ashes to the ocean. Who cares if hell awaits? We're having drinks at heaven's gate, but don't pray for us. We don't need no modern Jesus to roll with us. The only rule we need is never giving up. The only faith we have is faith in us. We know that we're helpless, at least that's what we assume. But we don't need to prove nothing to you. Let's all stay cool. You don't want to feel blue, well, we won't sell you nothing you can't use. Don't pray for us. We don't need no modern Jesus to roll with us. The only rule we need is never giving up. The only faith we have is faith in us. All right, I'm gonna switch over here. Give me a second here. To little YouTube. 1 second here. Actually, this might be a little tricky. It's fine. Not tricky at all. The first one I want to do today, though, is... Let's see what I've been doing here. Oh, yeah, Driver 8. I had a slight blackout there. It's fine. I know the song well. Okay, we'll figure it out. Let's try this one. Gotta practice this a bit. It goes like... Alright. Be tuned. I like this song. This is one of the earliest REM songs that I ever kind of learned as an acoustic version. And like took the time to memorize the lyrics, which took a while because they're really weird. Was a builder, stone by stone, fields are divided one by one, and the train conductor says, take a break, take a break, take a break. We've been on this shift too long. And the train conductor says, take a break, driver, take a break. We can reach our destination, still a ways away. It's our treehouse on the outskirts of the farm. The power lines have loaders so the airplanes won't get snagged. Bells are ringing through the town again. Children look up on they hear our sky blue bells ringing. And the train conductor says, take a break, driver, take a break. We can't reach our destination, still ways away. Still a ways away. Wait as she may shift too low. And remember when the conductor says, average driver rate, take a break. And reach our destination, still waits away. Still waits away. I enjoyed doing that. Let's do another song. Well, why not? Haven't done it in a couple of days. Today gonna be the day that they're gonna throw it back to you. But now, should somehow realize what you gotta do. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. Backbeat, the word is on the street, the fire in your heart is out. I'm sure you've heard it all before, but you never really had a doubt. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. And all the roads we have to walk are winding, and all the lights that lead us there are blinding. There are many things that I'd like to say to you, but I don't know how. And maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me. And after all, if I wander today is gonna be the day, but they'll never throw it back to you. By now, you should have somehow realized what you're not to do. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. And all the roads that lead you there were winding, and all the lights that lead the way are lining. There are many things that I'd like to say to you, but I don't know how. I think maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me. After all, if I wonder said maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me. After all, if I wonder said maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me. You're gonna be the one that saves me. You're gonna be the one that saves me. Hi, Donnie. Well, that's not necessarily hard, but in honor, we're gonna do. Oh, I gotta switch over here. We'll do "Wish You Were Here." I haven't done it in a couple of weeks or so. Maybe last week I did. Damn, which is the one we like? I think it was this one. Yeah, it starts off real quiet. Well, the song. So you think you can tell heaven from hell, blue skies from pain? Can you tell a green field from a cold steel rail, a smile from a veil? Do you think you can tell? They get you to tread your heroes for blows, hot ashes for trees. feels that song. Somehow, the words, the more you sing it, the more feeling you get when you sing that song. It's very unusual. Not very many songs are like that, but literally every time I sing that song, I feel like a different and weird. All right, we're gonna cut this other kind of a classic song. I do this every time, and.
She goes again, racing through my brain, and I just can't contain this feeling that remains. There she goes again, pulsing through my veins. I just can't contain this feeling that remains.
Favorite songs. I got maybe one more in me. Yeah, this bro, I'll get back for the night. But hey, more content tomorrow.
Could not foresee this thing happening to me. I am hard enough in the setting sun. My love will fly for me before the morning comes. I see a red door and I want it painted black. No
I don't even know if you're still here, but let me just get back to the little thing here. I'm kind of ending my musical stream. I didn't want to show it a bit. I've been showing a little bit off on stream here. I basically got this a month ago on Amazon blind. You know, they showed some pictures, but these are all different. So I didn't even get to see this one before I bought it. But what I paid is like $280, which is a lot of money for a guitar that you haven't seen before. But for a guitar, really gorgeous guitar like this, it has this you kind of see a 3D effect there, and it's in person. It's even more enhanced. Let me turn my reverb up. In person, it's even more aesthetically pleasing, I would say. It's definitely one of the most beautiful guitars I've ever seen. I don't even know what country it's made in. Maybe China, maybe India, maybe like Bangladesh, someplace like that. But someplace where they can make and import these very inexpensively. But it's a really well made. It's not just beautiful. Now, it didn't come set up out of the box. So you wouldn't be able to buy one of these if you don't know how to set up a guitar correctly and expect it to play like this. I had to do quite a bit of work to set it up. I had to adjust the truss rods. You got to remove the truss rod cover here. Remove the truss rod cover here. It came with the truss rod wrench, which is nice. I already have one. I had to put quite a bit of tension into the truss rod to straighten the neck out. Then the neck was straight. Now the neck is nice and straight, which is all you want. It's got stainless steel frets. I don't know if you're aware. The reason why I bought this guitar was not just because it was kind of inexpensive, and not because it seemed really deluxe and gorgeous in the pictures, and got pretty good reviews. But it has stainless steel frets, which are really interesting and unusual. It's my only guitar I have that has stainless steel frets. You can really tell when you're bending a string. It's a really smooth feeling. And it comes with, two humbucker pickups. It's got a kind of a very classic control string. It looks great on the back. The quality of the back is really beautiful. It's a string through body construction. It's very high end. It's and it's got locking tuners. The tuners look good, but they're not that functional. The headstock kind of has that green, marbled green theme to it. Locking tuners on the back, but as I say, on the back of the headstock, normally where it would say, made somewhere. Can't really see here. It just says Hurricane Series. Doesn't say made anywhere. So it's designed and manufactured by Leo James. I guess he's the guy who makes all the guitars. I don't know. He is the brand. All right. But anyway, I had a great time. Oof, my head that's hot. It's a good one. But yeah, so it was kind of a risk because there's all the possibility that you get something out of the box that just doesn't function right. Just can't be set up correctly. Just doesn't function right. I was able to get this one to function. Not only that, it functions well. It sounds great. It plays great. It's got these locking tuners, these are these cool lock-in strap locks. Just put these on like that. And locks the strap in. Real good. Things like that. Those won't come out. It's just a lot of really deluxe little features. It's a beauty. So I was actually thinking of buying another one in a different color scheme. Because now they're only $250. Again, don't buy one of these on Amazon. Unless you can set up a guitar or know somebody who can. But if you can, man, you're definitely getting a guitar that comparably would cost thousands of dollars from a regular brand. All right, I'm gonna put this down here. I'll be playing a lot. I will be playing a lot. It's a great guitar. Come by again tomorrow or any other day. I stream on pretty much every other day. Every day that does not have a T beginning. So no Tuesdays and Thursdays. But other than that, I've been streaming pretty much on the regular. By the way, if anybody hears, there's some news, possible streaming news in the future. If so, it'll be quite a ways. This might affect some of you people who are watching on Twitch. I'm actually thinking, and this would be a long-term thing, about just streaming on YouTube. There's some advantages. It's the same material. I have kind of just as much of a active community on YouTube in terms of chatting. They don't have to see ads ever, whereas people on you're very welcome, Donnie. Thank you for coming by, and I appreciate your compliments. Don't worry, I'll give you plenty of notice before I become a YouTube. If the thing about I was talking about this thing is I really like Twitch. I mean, I really like streaming on Twitch, and I consider myself a Twitch streamer, right? I got the Twitch logo. That's a glitch right here, the Twitch logo. So going to YouTube only would be really weird, but YouTube is a better streaming platform technically. Like I could stream higher quality on YouTube and easier. The thing about YouTube is that the YouTube Live is kind of a side effect of YouTube. YouTube is really about edited videos. I could be really popular on YouTube or moderately popular, which I don't really care about. If I edited my videos down into segments and then published those rather than, I could do the live as well, which would just take too much time. So anyway, I'm kind of conflicted. I'll probably end up just going, fuck it, I'm just going to do the exact same thing too, which is go live on Twitch and YouTube and not change anything. But I am thinking about just going with YouTube. The other thing is maybe YouTube and Kick or something, like some weird combination just for fun, just to kind of throw things up together. Anyway, as I mentioned before, we've been on for like 2 hours. I had such a grand time today that we're going to do a whole thing again tomorrow. Yeah, exactly. I would give people plenty of warning because I wouldn't want people to go to Twitch and go, "Oh my God, Ken Schneider, he's just not streaming anymore. Did he keel over? What's the deal? Or did he get tired of it?" I'm not tired of it. I love producing this content, and plus it produces itself because it's just songs I would want to play every day. And tomorrow will be keyboard day, be Ken's Piano Lounge, and I find it very relaxing to play Microsoft Flight Simulator on a daily basis. It like gives me kind of a zen kind of flying experience, So that's not going to stop. Wearing the Twitch shirt. I have a lot of Twitch shirts. I have like 10 of them, and I do kind of wear them more often. Like I have a bunch of Twitch concerts. I don't have a single shirt that says YouTube on it. See what I'm saying? That's why it'd be weird for me to not to. Okay, I got a little bit of Diet Coke left, but look how tan. It's very tan. It's not very cold. It's not icy cold, and I gotta say, carbonation. No fizz, but a little bit of fizz. It's still Diet Coke. I'm finishing up. I'm so glad we had this time together just to have a laugh or sing a song. Seems we just get started, and before you know it, comes the time we have to say so long.